What the hell is this place anyway?
Alright, son. Scenario second. Look, in Scenario second, they don't waste any time throwing you into the deep shit. They're like, alright, you beat Billy Birkin. You must know how to play the game. You must think a lot of yourself, Mr. High and Mighty. The opening of the B scenario is probably the hardest part of the whole damn game. Ignore that helicopter crashing, by the way. Oh yeah, that's when we're going to meet Claire, is during the through the fence raining scene. So it took Leon that long to run to the RPD via the alternate route. Must be wore out wearing that leather jacket in the rain, son. Alright, now that they've met back up, we got to haul ass because they just spawn a bunch of zombies all around you. If you linger for a couple of seconds, you'll get eat up. Look, we've aggroed a Fat Chubs. The first Fat Chubs of the B scenario. Alright, so we're going to pop in this side room, the Brad Vickers closet, I like to call it. That's why it's locked up. Wesker put them chains in there. There's Brad Vickers. Brad Vickers, you had a hand grenade this whole time? You son of a bitch. The 1911 would be delightful to have with its unique 45 ACP ammo, but unfortunately we can't have that. And while Leon pretends to change clothes in this cutscene, I'll explain why. So in the B scenario, no 9mm handgun bullets spawn at all. You can only make them by mixing gunpowder A's or big gunpowders. And so to compensate, they give you a unique weapon. In Leon's case, it's that 1911 that holds 7 shots, and he shoots it gangster style, I believe they refer to it as in the 90s. And Claire gets the Colt single action army son revolver. I saw it, loves it. But anyway, that 45 ACP ammo takes the place of the normal 9mm. Alright, let's see if we can get through here without getting eat up. Nope, but it's okay. I honestly didn't expect to get through here without getting eat up. But we actually, normally you could just blow them up with this hand grenade we have. If you're watching the non-commentary version, you're like, look, he's mad he didn't use his hand grenade. I win. I win. It's like a kid in a Connect 4 commercial. But no, the actual reason is we want the hand grenade for these 2 zombies up here, because we only have 5 9mm bullets that the Matilda came with. We didn't even start with a full magazine. Here's that full heal we were getting for free, by the way, the RGB heal. Almost eat up, too. We got it just in time. The non-commentary version people are shitting their pants. But anyway, we want to come up here early. We can't get through that spade door. By the way, he won't come in here, so don't worry about him. But we want to come up here early and get this. Because the secret to the B scenario, especially when you're playing it with no item box, no save, is you have to pick a spec and use your powders for that. Because if you pick up the 1911, I mean, that's a permanent inventory slot going, because you got to carry these 2 handguns around all the time. Alright, I need the two of you close to each other so this grenade can blow you up. Anyway, in all of my practice sessions, the run I've had a lot of success with is what I like to call the handgun magnum spec. So the way that works is we're going to play through the game using the Matilda. So we'll make 9mm bullets with all the gunpowder A's we find. And that means with all the gunpowder B's we find, we can mix them together and just make magnum bullets. Because one benefit they do give you for making the opening so much more difficult in the B scenario is you can get the Stars badge before the first Billy Birkin fight, son. Let you soak up that music. Okay, we don't actually want these right now, and there's some magnum bullets right there that we will get later, I promise. Alright. So even though this is like where we end up when we return from the basement normally, you just walk over here at the beginning of the B scenario. But we still need that fuse because it's stupid. They're trying to make it seem like the B scenario takes place after the A scenario, but just like in the original game, you just end up doing the same puzzles and shit. This opening part's the only part that's really different until the very end, at least I believe. Alright, ignore that man. Pop this open. Boosh. Alright, we've ignored him for long enough. We can pop this board up here and then keep running away from him. Get in here before this man can bust in. I know busting makes you feel good, sir, but this is a workplace environment. Am I going to have to force you to watch John Tron's safety PSA video? Okay, we got to get past this guy. But the man we left over here also exists. Okay, did you go in that office? He didn't. Okay, good. You two are kind to where I wanted you anyway. Making me the hero of the office for today. Just like Jim. Is there a character named Jim in the office? I've never watched it. I know there's a character named Steve Carell from The Office. That's his full name. He's like Yugoslavian. Alright, there's additional boards. Fat Chubb's loot closet is just free for the picking. Other specs I've tried in this playthrough is 1911 shotgun spec. That's where you do pick up the 1911. And since you don't want to make 9mm bullets after that, you want to use all your gunpowder A's and B's, ideally, to make shotgun shells. And so that's what you do. You don't even pick up the Magnum in that run, boys. Henry can't stand it. I mean, it's nice to have it to use just straight up Magnum bullets that they do give you in the game, because there's quite a few of them. Enough to make it substantial. But it's not worth losing that inventory space. By the end of the game, you have no room for heals. And you all know how bad I am at fighting Mr. X at the end of the game. Oh, by the way, they changed this hallway in B scenario right to start with. That liquor's basically where the original RE2 liquor actually was. So that's a little nice callback. Luckily, we stun lock liquors where I come from. Excuse me, sir. I don't know if you know this, but back where I come from, we have a way of dealing with liquors. Skinless deaf boys, we call them. A name they earned. And that's just how you do-si-do a liquor. Okay. We're going to slap these boards on here because nobody's going to bust in through here just yet. But some crowd are going to yell at us from these windows. Oh no, I'm spooked solid. Okay. The crowd watching the non-commentary version are going to be like, man, I tell you, this guy just don't know whether he's coming or going, man. I'm catching him in all kind of stananks. I know it's a powerful word, but I'm using it appropriately. Metatextually. I'm like Toby Fox, man. I exist outside the narrative. Like a true partition, I only read Chris/Susie or Cruzy fanfics for optimal self-insertion. It's the same reason you would read Framarant, Final Fantasy IX fanfiction. Okay, Fat Chubbs is over there. I ain't got the resources to deal with him. This man, we all know he's tough. But you know what would humble anyone? A shotgun. And luckily, they'll both follow us in here. But I think we might have ordnance to deal with them. I think we might have justice to dispense. Son. Boosh. And we got 2 extra bonus shells for pre-ordering back in the office. Oh no. Please don't corner me in the evidence locker room. What are we gonna do? Fat Chub's Oni-chan. Yamaro! Isn't that a Gundam character? Alright, Fat Chubs, here's your chance to avenge your best friend. You did a good fucking job of it, too. And just like that, look, we got an empty inventory space as well. I've done this run a lot. And I've won the game, and I've lost the game. I exist in all states of the game. Invitation to the game. Okay, I forgot how to do this safe, because I was thinking about that novel I read in middle school. It's called Invitation to the Game. It's like Ready Player One in the 90s. Oh no. No, I mean, I'm not saying it's like Ready Player One, but instead of beating off and filleting the 80s with fake nostalgia that the Zoomers didn't even experience. But it's like these... I'm not. Just go read the Wikipedia synopsis. My God. I haven't even had time to make my Ned and Marge shipping joke for these lockers, son. I'm falling behind. These are classic. These are the kind of things the fans expect when they watch Tenfei play Resident Evil 2 Remake, son. There's some beats you always got to hit, or else the crowd just looks at each other confused. That man comes through the window early. We rewarded him. This bitch is already woke up. She's already drunk. And she's already dead. Son, she gets a lot done. That's a working gal. Alright, we're going to pop into save room. Here's some music. Grab us another gunpowder A. Today on Resident Evil 2, no item box, no safe, Leon B, hardcore. We're going to bring you the save room music. Now you're listening to West Halls. Then there's this asshole. Sometimes he can fall over the rail, but when you've got full aggro on him like this, he tends to actually pathfind around the stairs like an asshole. Here, let me give you some low angle shots. Don't say I'm biased, son. Excuse me? Okay, I thought he was going to get back up. Look, they were trying to fuse. What could no commentary watchers possibly think? Spoilers, there's nobody doing that. I've looked at the stats on the no commentary version of the Claire A. And even if it's got views, the average view duration is like less than 30 seconds. I think it's just people clicking on it to be polite and like a video that their old Uncle Tim Fab liked it. And I do appreciate that, son. But I just want y'all to know what's going on. The truth. The fat skinny, as it's called. You're like, no one else has ever said that expression. Why? Why, yeah. There's an additional man up here, which means an additional shotgun shell dispensed. Alright, remember that devils. They say that even a devil can cry. And Trish is like, really? And Dante's like, maybe. Okay, we got the spade key. Sometimes you like to sing a little song when you find keys. That's what the Master Chief did, I think, in Halo. Captain Keyes as a character. Something to flood. And he had like a computer chip in his head. And then he like died. I don't know, spoilers. I vaguely recall the first Halo and that's it. The Library Bunch. Look, that bitch. I feel like in Leon's game, she spawns closer to the stairs. But in Claire's game, over to the ladder. It's like men are from Mars, women are from Venus, son. Men are like stairs and women's are like ladders. I've become fucking Rusty Shackleford from... I got a fucking crit headshot on that bitch. Has the Library Bunch ever been so fucking humbled? Well, let's celebrate by blowing this asshole eater's head off. And just because he'll be lonely without his friends, now that they're in hell, Fat Chubs. Man, the Library Bunch obliterated. The best part is how much they deserved it. Oh no, his thing clips through his thing. It's like trying to have a bow equipped in Breath of the Wild. I need a mod for Breath of the Wild that just makes bows invisible while you don't have them drawn. That man has a knife. But that knife is for Billy Birkin. We don't need that right this second. Okay, in the B scenario, this one is the little kids judged the worm competition. Not the snake, the worm. That's what they tell you. They just wanted the sign that says no snakes. And what's his name there from the opening of Fallout 3? It's so mad. I couldn't tell you that character's name. He's like the kid who like bullies you and then he becomes a teenager. Tunnel Snakes Rule guy. I believe Liam Neeson steals the spring out of his switchblade comb for your BB gun, if I'm recalling correctly. If the stories are to be believed, if the prophecy holds true. Look at this generic, nondescript zombie that we don't know, and is not our senpai, and is now dead. No remorse will be shed from us, but Claire Redfield failed it. She sneezed. I instinctually did the same thing I did in Claire A, while thinking about, oh, I need to not do that thing I did in Claire A. I was too busy thinking about that anime trope whenever one character is talking about another character, usually like some ladies in a hot tub after they get done grabbing each other's titties and being like, why are your titties so fucking big? God. And giggling and splashing water on each other. They'll be like, what do you think of main character Coon? And it's like, I hate him and he's a dumb baka. Son, I accidentally made 400 bento lunches for him. And then the other girl is like, oh, I think he's real cute. I dokie dokie when I see him. But anyway, it then cuts to that character wherever he is and whatever he's doing. And then he like sneezes. And then someone near him has to go, do you have a cold? Koldu Desuga? Okay, now that we're done butchering an ancient language on the internet. There's this crazy fucking bitch over here. I almost forgot about you. The B-Scenario holds such treasures, we'll call them. Thank God her head busted open. You don't always get the good headshot. Okay, in this one, you crown the flaming fat pigeon. Where's he at? There he is, boys. Give me my lion medallion. Okay. Ah, that classic RE2 hallway music. If I ever lived in a big regal estate, I would have that music playing in the main entryway, and everyone would be like, I'm always real uncomfortable in your main entryway. I'm like, that's by design. Yes, this is how I talk, now that I live in an estate of decay. Okay. So we can actually... Oh, I should have... I completely forgot to use the valve handle when I was in the locker room. We didn't have to do all this yet. We could have grabbed the detonator when we were going through that middle hallway area. Right before we got the shotgun. And we could have just used the valve handle and went straight to the STAR's office and got Wesker's beloved 9-volt battery that he saves for his Atari handheld. Not Atari. Tiger handheld, son. That's what inspired him. I have 0 shotgun shells. This man can be shot to death with a handgun. He's earned it. It's the first zombie I'm shooting with the handgun, I just realized. Yeah, you're humbled. You love it. Anyway, in Resident Evil 5, Wesker does a tiger uppercut as a nod to Sagat, another Tenfei character that I recently talked about in my Breath of the Wild playthrough. Talk about, like, cross-universe promotion. That's the least dead motherfucker I've seen in a long fucking time. Okay, he's good. He's good at pretending. 20 years from now, he'll have gotten you. Anyway, so the Tiger electronic handhelds. It's a funny joke. You kids just don't get it. You had to be there. I had some Tiger electronic handhelds in the 90s, son. I, too, was a child of the 90s. The age of Aquarius, is that right? I don't know. I'm an Aries, son. That's what makes me so bold and powerful. That's why you all are compelled to listen to my... what's the word I'm looking for? Commanding tones. The only thing I know about Aries other than that is Ram and Dodge trucks is that they're supposed to be like very authoritative. Is that right? Where's the next gunpowder A, as I'm going to call this? There's one. No, there's not anytime recently, so we don't want that. We do want these though. Oh, I can go around and unlock the library door now without a care in the world. Oh no, Mr. X. How many of you weren't expecting it? Wesker's battery. So wherever he is, he sneezed, and Brad Vickers was like, "You getting a cold, boss?" And he was like, "Never address me in that manner again, Brad Vickers." When I have complete global saturation of Ouroboros, I'll exclude only you. Even in an apocalyptic biohazard nightmare, Brad Vickers, you are excluded. Alright, Mr. X just went into the girls' locker room. He's going to get slapped and get a nosebleed. We're in a race right now to get upstairs to the room where you use the C4 to get the maiden medallion. The liquor will not spawn like it does in the Ace area. It's one of the few fucking bones they throw you. Just like there's no liquor in that Stalls Hall, right, son? That's why Jill never hangs out there. Yeah, that's a joke about drinking. I don't know what you're thinking, son. Your crowd got a dirty mind. I don't think the 10 Fay channel is overly horny. I think you crowd just fucking dirty. I think he's right there. Is it true? Did I dream him? I don't know if the bookshelf fell over. It didn't. Well, where the hell is he? He's taking his time? Okay, there he is. Now get that fucking hat off your head. We're eating dinner. Okay, so here's the plan now. We're going to lose this asshole in the STARS office hallway. Like a pro. And then we can run up there and pluck our maiden medallion. That's right, like a juicy grape. When I describe getting an item as plucking a juicy grape, do y'all imagine a red grape or a white grape or green grape? I don't know what you're supposed to call them. Alright, he's walking by. Like Gossamer in Looney Tunes. Remember that time Gossamer was on the water polo team with the other kids and Daffy Duck was their coach? And he took them all the way to the championship, but it was just because Gossamer's huge orange furry body blocked the entirety of the water polo net, so the other team literally couldn't score. So as long as their team could get a point. That's how you win in Blitzball too. Pega Gripes did a real in-deep dive depth. I'm trying to parse those. It's like how you have to say adjectives in a certain order. Oh yeah, this thing, the ram plays a heart for the raven. Speaking of Aries, there's the ram. I couldn't possibly remember what I was talking about before that moment. But that's okay. That's part of the 10 Fay experience. We've got like this permanent bite mark in our nice leather jacket. If we get too gory with red spray paint, I can go into the options and temporarily change costumes. And when I change back, Leon will have been restored. Mr. X, I hear you waffle stomping around, throwing a fit. Oh, I need to put this book in the book statue, as it's named. Let's do that real quick. I should have done that before Mr. X, now that I'm thinking about it. I should have done that in like 12BX or BMX. DMX, son. Gotta give it to you. Remember that BMX Triple X game? What a fucking nightmare. That crowd might still be alive in here, even though I threw a fucking hand grenade at them. So yeah, we might need to worry about them to an extent. Only to the extent that one of them might be standing right outside the door. So the moment we do this and leave this scepter menu, a liquor is going to fall in behind us, also as an homage to original Resident Evil 2. But we know how to deal with that. We got knives and shit. Yes, sir. I do-si-doed around that motherfucker and got him in the corner. Well, for a brief moment. He touched the corner, so it still counts. Okay, he's dead. Is that asshole standing out here? Asshole? Okay, I'm racing you to the door. You can't beat me, especially when you walk in the wrong direction. Is that motherfucker over here following me? Where is he? Okay, we're racing him. Speedy Speed Boy. Mr. X burning. Oh, you've chosen poorly, Mr. X. Exxon. I can't say anything else because like all I think about is that gas station. I believe they used to have a tiger as a mascot. I didn't need to grab that scepter, by the way. I really shouldn't have. But I was so busy trying to entertain you all that I forgot about that. But that's okay. It'll just limit our basement adventures slightly. But we can get around it. Okay, there he is. Oh, he's mad. He's like, that fucking hat was gifted to me by Albert Wesker. I'm not fit to touch the hem of his robe. Do we need these shotgun shells just yet? No, we don't. We're going to leave them out. Oh, by the way, he can't follow you down here, so we win. We win. Proving we're the true hero. We proved the justice of our culture, just like the Ghostbusters, son. Gunslinger Leon. Gotta give the crowd watching no commentary some sort of levity. Okay. I want my free hand grenade that's laying down here. Let's rearrange this inventory. Let's see. Okay. One nice thing about... oh. I didn't even go get the mag. I just realized, it just dawned on me that I'm playing B-Scenario, and I had the box in my inventory this whole time, and could have already went and got the Magnum for Billy Birkin. So, let's do that. Just for you kids. This is the equivalent of forgetting the roll of film in the A scenario. You gotta have something like this in a 1050 video. As long as you're watching the commentated version, it doesn't matter. Because you're still having a good time. Have I mentioned recently how the DFA channel can the commentary and the gameplay can be quite divorced from each other, and you still maintain good time status. We could grab the little stabilizer that you can put on the end of this pistol, but I mean, we're not really going to be using it that much. Just when we've got excess of small gunpowders. Or regular gunpowder. I honestly don't know the actual name of the item. I believe the yellow is high grade. God only knows. Slap that shit in there, son. Get Bonsai Buddy all booted up, baby. Claire leaves you a bonus note. She's like, Leon, this place is awful, and my brother's in Europe right now, son. Slapping every ass cheek that gets within arm's reach of him. The piece of shit. Alright. We want the Devil's Cry maybe bullets. Maybe? We Devil's Cry maybe want them? Alright, there's a gun. Remember that gunpowder A is there. I won't. But it's important that y'all do so I can be yelled at in the comments. It's the only way I'll learn. Okay. I'll have these. Give me the Magnum ammo. Oh, by the way, this fucking thing needs to be shortcutted to the top of our inventory, because this is the good shit now. Yes, sir. We're going to get the scope for it later, and it's not going to look as cool, in my opinion. But it makes it so much gooder. Almost to a factor of might bit gooder. Son, I know it's shocking. I'll give you all a moment to regain yourselves. Where do you think old X-Coon is? Not between me and Billy Birkin. Right? Guess not. What if he was standing right fucking there, like Gossamer, playing Waterfall? Way to bring it back, boys. Alright. Loving an elevator. Yeah, we can look at how cool this Magnum looks now. Boys, compared to this fucking thing, ooh. If we pulled that handgun out against Billy Birkin, he'd be like, oh, never mind. I've got a headache. I gotta work tomorrow. I gotta kill Hunk and his boys. I'm like, well, you ain't gonna kill Hunk. The boys, sure. But Hunk, no sir. Mr. Death, they call him. Death's son. Okay. Just move this and walk right through, and I guarantee nothing bad could ever possibly occur in this sequence of events. Alright, just like the A scenario, you just want to cut that man. He recoils for quite a while. And if you've got the good timing, it's really not that hard to do. You could switch to your flashbang grenade. He actually didn't go to grab me. That's never happened before. Marathon luck. Marathon strats. Son, greetings from Germany, William Birkin. Okay. We're doing a good fucking job of humbling this man. I'm getting pretty fucking lucky with this shit. Are you going to try to grab me or try to hit me? Okay, I guess he answered that question real fucking fast, didn't he? Fuck you, Billy B. Alright, let's throw one flashbang and then get in there with that knife, boys. Knife to meet you, Billy V. I hear you're a big shot down here, son, with your big fucking eyeball in your eye. Now's your chance to be a Billy B shot. Oh, too late. Got my flashbang. Call you Flashbang Billy down at the pub. Alright, we can finish cutting him. He should be almost dead soon. Yeah, there we go. Son, Leon's like, somebody's got their eyes all over me. The only item we want to bring from down here is this hand grenade, sadly enough. There's a couple of herbs. We could mix a full heal. Well, a blue herbless one till we get upstairs, but there's really no reason to worry about it. God, I still can't believe the snake I made with the scepter. I always forget in the B scenario you want to mash the B button on the controller so that as soon as that animation ends, you immediately leave that menu. Because if you tap A, he throws that shit into his inventory. And loves it. That was a weird pattern on the Billy B fight I got with them knives. It worked out really good. Even getting hit, it got that first aid spray out of my inventory that I only grabbed in case I got hit. And it lowered the difficulty adjustment. Because I hadn't... Well, no, I took that big meaty bite at the beginning of the game. Maybe that's why I'm having such a good run. Maybe the strat is to always get a chunk bit out of you, son. This is where, once again, because I'm going to put chapters in this just like I did the first one so y'all could skip the cutscenes. This one's just going to be literally walking across the parking garage.
FBI よ。どうも。ご協力感謝します。よくここまで来られたわね。FBI だって何が起きてる？悪いけど、それは機密情報なの。どこへ行くんだ？自分の命が惜しいなら、くだらない質問はよしてここを出るのね。おい、話は終わってないぞ。
boys. Ada Senpai. In Japanese, son. She's double tsundere. It's amplified.
誰だ？
いや、
信じられん。普通の人間だ。いや、普通の人？
ずっとここに？
ああ、長かった。残ったのは俺たちだけ？
いや、まだ何人かいる。
ああ、そりゃいいニュースだ。アイアンズの使いじゃないよな。
アイアンズ社長のことか。まだここに？
知るかよ。誰かに食われてればいいが。
どういう意味だ？
あいつにぶち込まれた。
理由があったんだろう。
ああ、そうさ。奴の不正を暴こうとした。おかげでこのざまだ。なあ、取引しないか。ここを開けてくれ。この駐車場のカードキーが必要だろ。
悪いが、それは無理だ。まずは所長と話す。
あんたも警察署の囚人みたいなもんだ。お互い助け合って一緒に逃げようぜ。くそ、来やがった。
おい、何が来たんだ？
つべこべ言ってないで逃げるぞ。こいつがいるんだろ。さっさとここから出してくれ。
嘘だろ。誰だ？
私よ。そんなもの向けないで。
一体何が起きたのか。一瞬のことで。
ここを出るように言ったのに、ベンのように死にたいの？
知り合い？
情報提供者よ。私の捜査に必要な情報を持ってた。
それじゃあこの男はまた何も言わずに行くのかよ。名前すら知らない。俺はレオン・ケネディ。
出口を探すのね、レオン。手遅れになる前に。また話しましょう。エイだよ。
取引成立か。
It seems odd to me that they would lock Ben Botticelli up while he had like a raccoon RPD parking permit just hanging around his neck. Maybe he had it up his asshole. What do I know? That man will do anything to get a scoop. That's what classic Ada Wong taught me. Alright. Leon's Basement Adventures. Different than Claire's. I'd say technically Claire has the more dangerous one because of the liquors, but if you follow the same walking pattern, you'll get like past them every time. You don't have to actually fight any of them if you're just patient enough to walk around them. While Leon's dogs are not as powerful as a liquor, but very hard to dodge, very mobile. So you got to space that shit out just right. I need to use up these 4 shotgun shells. Because I need... There's a couple of items down here we're going to grab. I hear that. The dog howled sounded like a Silent Hill siren. Alright, we're going to immediately... Remember, we're doing Handgun Magnum spec. Handgun Magnum could be the younger sibling of Spark Shot Magnum, son. From Wolves Can't Fly. That could be one of their stories they do. You know how like the Gorillas have like a plot and a lore to their albums? I like to think Wolves Can't Fly could have something like that. And Handgun Magnum. Kind of like Claire's little revolver that you can upgrade to be some sort of Magnum. Son, it all ties together. It's like pottery, son. It rhymes. This fucking man's a piece of shit and he gets what he deserves, boys. I didn't even have to tell any bad jokes. I've never actually seen that movie with Joaquin Phoenix, but it is fun to reference the memes. I'm just going to let this man wake up because I'm going to immediately put him back to bed. Oh no, how did he miss? How did he miss? The difficulty adjust. I always tell you kids, that's what it's for. And look at that. We emptied our inventory of shotgun shells. Just like I originally planned. I was 4 steps ahead of y'all. You have no fucking idea what happened. You're going to be on the forums arguing about this for weeks. The BBS too, although you'll have to deal with Richard Zucker on the BBS. He's like, good job, Uncle Tenfei. Did you forget the trick to pull the bed out only so far so the zombie doesn't aggro, as you like to say? With your antiquated MMO terminology. They still use the word aggro. Like if you're in Final Fantasy 14 and you're like, hot damn, I pulled aggro. Is everyone like, oh, that means the mob has turned his attention to him? Or is everyone like, is he talking about the horse from Shadow of the Colossus? What? Don't bring him up, son. It's heartbreaking. Alright, dogs hate it when you restore the power. And so, we're going to have to deal with their antics. But, well, in a manner similar to Claire's, as long as you follow the same pattern and have enough ammunition, you can do Leon's dog basement escape, the same as her liquor escape. Alright, you want to preemptively have your shotgun equipped. Now, when you come around this corner, a dog is going to appear right in your vision. I recommend some swift justice, preferably with a shotgun, and you'll hummel him right quick. This has been Old Southern Man's Guide to Resident Evil Enemies. That's his new branch-off series. He can only do so much Dark Souls. Just ask Vatty Vidya. God bless his heart, question mark. I can't tell if he's one of those other YouTubers that I pretend to dislike. Cold drinks? Okay, we want to pop in here and use the diamond key before that crowd gets to the door. Or else it don't count. But yeah, we want to do this because we're going to use this upstairs to get one of them little safes. Little button safes. Did you hear that? They fucking one-shotted that door. Okay, we're back to the beginning of the run area. I told you we'd be back here. It's like when I showed the shortcut, or the shortcuts in Super Metroid, where you come out of like Lower Norfair and Meridia. And I told you we'd get them Magnum bullets. The good times. If you're listening to Resident Evil 2 saver music, you're always having a good time. Hand grenades could prove quite useful for this little section right here. Hey, assholes. So even though that thing's already open, these zombies that would be here in the A scenario are still here. You can't stop them from congregating. It's like those thugs in that back alley that kept fucking stabbing Subaru to death at the beginning of RE4. No matter what we do, this pack of zombies, they're like the library bunch when you think about it. Alright, they're all dead. They're all humbled. Even Elliot Senpai, God bless his heart, deserves a proper rest. We could shoot him in the head instead of his plated shoulder. I wanted him to earn a warrior's death. In Valhalla. You crowd still standing around in here? You crowd. That crowd we ran away from earlier still exists. And the hate in their heart for us still exists as well. So we got to be careful running around here. It'd be good to go ahead and get rid of them so we don't have to deal with them during Mr. X times. Which, he appears at the helicopter again. You thought you scared me, but I remember boards. Even though we've already seen him. So, there's that. Where are you crowd at? Are you really not standing around here? Waiting to grab me? Waiting to scare me? Did I kill them? I can't remember. I've killed so many zombies. For you, the day Leon Scott Kennedy entered the East offices was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday. Okay, we're going to go get the button safe, which will let us access the lockers, and we're going to put it in the number 3 slot so that we can get another knife because there are new liquors in town here in the RPD now that we've had basement times. And we don't want liquors because they're like the antithesis to Mr. X, because you've always got to walk slow around them. But around Mr. X, he's going to give it to you. We could finally grab that spurned gunpowder A that was in the locker room, because we have another Gunpowder A now. It's the miracle of life when you think about it. Life finds a way. You're saying a population consisting only of gunpowder A's can reproduce magnum bullets? No, what I'm saying is that Leon Scott Kenedy finds a way. You were so preoccupied with recording yourself spouting nonsense while somewhat decently playing a video game, and you didn't stop to think if you should, and the next thing you know, you've badly edited the audio into it and got the sound levels kinda okay and uploaded it, and there it is, processed HD. I brought you here to defend me from these characters, and the only one on my side is the blood-sucking fat chubs. Yeah, we all know you're here. We all give a shit. Oh, that second statement was a lie. Alright, editing magic, get me through this, boys. It's always that easy. I don't think I've ever took more than one attempt to solve one of these safes. I have gotten better at it. If I do forget to edit it out. But if I don't, just know that I was real good at it and real handsome. Alright. Cool, cool, cool. So here's the plan, man. I'm gonna fucking cup this liquor, man. I've seen some shit in the RPD, man. Fucking inside out, asshole, naked people with the brains hanging out, man. They got claws for hands, man. I shoved my arm up to the elbow holding a Bowie knife of one of their assholes, and he just kept coming, man. His tongue just kept licking, man. Alright, there's an additional Ricker. I actually said Ricker, but it was because I was going to make the additional liquor in rear joke. And my brain did that thing where it just combined syllables together, because it's like you're wasting fucking time. Alright, you need to get down from there. If I had a flashbang grenade, you would know it because it would have been thrown at you and you would have hated it. Too late. Already stun locked. Don't scramble away from me when I've got you stunned. It's like I'm a rogue in World of Warcraft. I'm like, how dare you have a PvP trinket when I'm trying to record my epic PvP montage. How dare you, sir. Okay. Is this all the pre-gaming we wanted to do in this part? There is a liquor up in the C4 room, but we shouldn't have to ever go through there again, so I'm not going to bother with it. That decision won't come back to haunt me. Honestly, don't know. I'm not doing a cheeky edit, but if I get up there and Mr. X corners me and I have to go through that room, y'all will know. I guess we will grab this little thing just so I can talk about Final Fantasy 6 through 11. Who's the best character in each of those Final Fantasies? Final Fantasy 6, my favorite character, Shadow. Some folks calls him Clyde. I calls him Shadow. He had an interceptor the size of a tangerine. Final Fantasy 7, you know I'm going to say Red 13. I have to. Contractually obligated. But Sid Highwind's close second. Final Fantasy 8, Laguna Lore is, of course, the best character and should have been the main character if there was any justice in this world. Final Fantasy 9, y'all need to sit down, take your monocles off. If you're about to take a big sip of tea, just set that down, give yourself a moment to recover from what you're about to hear. Final Fantasy 9, the best character would have to be Rat Wife for life. Dragoon Lady Supreme, Freya Crescent, son. God bless her heart. Okay. What was I? Oh, okay. I got to such levels of self-inflicted cringe that I forgot what I was actually doing. I was like, why is this in the video? This is one of those things I sometimes edit out. Because even I have a threshold. Final Fantasy X, you know I'm a Kamari man. You see the pattern we're establishing so far. Amongst non-Kamari characters, I'm a big Auron fan. I used to have a figurine of Auron that was from the same line my big Kamari statue's from, that I know you all have watched Shelf Quests, and so you know about my Kamari figure. That if I look behind me right now, he's literally glaring at me. Here, hold on. This won't be in the commentary-less version. I'll take a picture behind me of the shelf, and you can see how Kamari watches and judges me as I play video games terribly. It's a weird angle, so just deal with it. Okay, there was no flash. But that's okay. Oh, God, I slapped the mic. You kids don't need flash, son. You've got Quicksilver. Is that a joke you kids like? Did the algorithm reward me for that joke? I'm going to grab these shotgun shells and I'm going to throw them in this fucking shotgun, and this piece of shit ain't going to know what fucking got him, boys. Tank 1, get 2. Then there's this asshole. The nice thing about the handgun Magnum spec is that anytime you come across shotgun shells, you just make the shotgun your default weapon and you just kill everything with it. It's very satisfying. It's like probably the best way to play the game. I forgot that Leon, one of the differences in his scenario is that the weight of his leather jacket and his future badassery makes the ladder crumble. Hey, you're dead. And you're dead. You thought she was going to get me? I know y'all did. Boosh. Alright, I'll have the club key, please. Hit me with a club key. I'd say the run's going fairly good so far. I've only fucked up a little bit. I hate how I have that pre-built bite bitten into me like a half-eaten pair of Choco pants. Like a splouched bar. Even I can't keep track of how often like cursory Homestar Runner references are just thrown out when I'm recording. They just pour out of me like water. Alright, we're going to try Advanced Mr. X Tech where he just wanders off and we can get on with our fucking lives. But if not, we've got to go out there and do-si-do around him. It's not a huge deal. Alright, he walked off and... Okay, good. When he stops at the end, his like RNG... He can choose to just immediately turn around and come walking back towards you, and there's nothing you can do. That's the best possible route he could have took. Because now he's going to fuck off downstairs, and we're free to go clubbing with the club key, son. Hot damn. I got a precinct key burning a hole in my pocket. How about I take you out and treat you to a unicorn medal? If we're lucky, he'll be down there in the press room, and he'll make us a secret shortcut by busting through the wall. Once again, in an homage to original Resident Evil 2. I've been tempted this whole playthrough to stop and regenerate my coat, but why bother at this point? I like how that man just stays at that indoor window, quote unquote, the whole game. I believe, once again, the people upstairs are vacuuming. It's only 9:58 on a Friday evening, so... Not as bad. Maybe. Here's the other safe we need. Okay, are we going to come across any gunpowder bees for the rest of this place? I don't think we are. I guess I'll just run down this hall and not get spooked at all. Oh, he wasn't there. I'm reverse spooked. I'm decused. That's alright. We're going to get them gunpowders after we've done a little bit of shenanigans. Okay, is he in here? Or is he downstairs? Is him downstairs? Because Leon wants some cookies and shit. Once again, Mr. X is like, my body's weary, America. Trying to chase this pretty boy around. Okay, good. Everything's turning out exactly how he wanted it. Once again, he's played into my machinations. Once again, I am Xanatos from Disney's Gargoyles. Let's not get punched randomly like we did in the A scenario because I'm not paying attention. Alright, so far so good. Once again, let's just do this safe real quick. Son, they really are too easy. It should be 75 buttons. And the time should not stop. Mr. X should be chasing you the entire time. Alright, now we can open 203 to get the additional fanny pack. Boosh. We can open 208 to get some shotgun shells. Bop. And we can even open 102. You all thought it would never happen. The day's finally come. Alright, now that we got some bonus inventory spaces, we can do that. Grab these bad boys. Slap them in this bad boy. Bad boy slappers. It's my favorite variant GoldenEye weapon set. Alright, cool. I think he's right fucking there. It's true. Luckily, we've killed all the lickers, so we don't have to worry about whether or not we got him hung on us by the chimney with care. That's right, I did kill the second licker. For a second, I was like, oh god, I didn't kill the second licker that spawns near, because I was only remembering killing him. Now, going in here and getting this lever usually just draws Mr. X directly to you, but we're already in Mr. X's bad graces. We're already on his shit list, son. He's already got the call-out video prepared and the Counter-Strike background unrelated game footage queued up. I'm going to assume he's coming around the other way, so we're going to run through here, although he has surprised me before and been in this area. We might still get socked in the god. There might still be a slobber knocker in this playthrough. I know y'all look for it, though. You're like, I really don't. It stresses me out tremendously, Uncle Tefe, when you let that large man punch you in the mouth. I hear the angry Resident Evil 2 Mr. X music, so he saw us at some point, but I did not see him. Where there was only one set of bloody footprints going through the east office, that is where Mr. X punched you, and you flew through the air like Alucard, doing the death skip in Symphony of the Night. Alright, we got just enough time to lower this and slide it over, and Mr. X won't get anywhere near us, I guarantee it. Don't be scared. Don't be worried. Okay, good. We got ambient library music. That means he's not noticing us just a second. Alright, there's two zombies up here that have to be decapitated, and that usually gets his attention, so he'll probably follow us up here, and we'll have to lose him over there in the storage shelf room we've already cleared. Hey, buddy. You're real fucking pretty. Almost as handsome as this piece of shit. Oh, no, I, went to blow his hat off his head. Whatever, laser. I didn't even like that knife. I'm glad you freed up my inventory space. Way to make me stronger. Need I bring up my beloved anecdote about the Invader Zim episode with the time portal that Zim could only throw rubber pigs into? Alright. We've got our big gears. Big gear. Colonel, I'm being chased by a large man in a trench coat. That's Mr. X, Snake. If he gets near you, he'll punch the dog shit out of you. It must be nanomachines. No, I think he's like a virus. But Otacon aren't nanomachines themselves inherently a virus, when you think about it. Otacon's like, no, not really. Shut up. Shut up! He plugs his fingers in his ears, runs out the room. Otacon's always a class act, boys. Alright, is he behind us? Is he coming from over there? Is he downstairs? I don't know. And frankly, I don't care.
つは始末書ものだな。
You fucking tell him, Leon. Write a report, indeed. As if he ain't got nothing better to do. There's a big gunpowder over there that I'm ignoring because, like I said, handgun bullets aren't exactly a priority in this playthrough. Another benefit of running handgun Magnum spec is you get to run around with the Magnum equipped a lot. And it looks real cool, especially if you've modded in Resident Evil 4 Jacket Leon. I believe they used his Dead by Daylight model to make this. How neat. Okay, yeah, we need that one flashbang for the prison escape sequence. Son Leon becomes a Elder Scrolls character afterwards. I'm taking a weird path. I just realized I was on Claire's path to run to Brian Irons' office and solve the puzzle, but Leon's got to go all the way to the basement. That's why Danny Elfman just doesn't even give him the time of day. So much 45 ammo. When we come back up here later, spoilers, after the sewers, it would be the optimal time to just grab that 45 and all that ACP ammo and just try to go through the rest of the game with it. On a regular playthrough, it's like fun to use. It's one of the perks of the B scenario, but in no item box, no save, son. It'll put you on your back foot. Alright. I've had some good luck just running through here, so that's what we're going to try to do. Bob and weave. If I have a spare flashbang, I'll throw it in here sometimes, because it does stun them usually long enough to be okay. Alright, we've almost made it. We're the critic from Lady in the Water, boys. We heroically escaped through the door at the last possible second. Alright, this fucking puzzle. It's not that complicated, but sometimes I mess up. I know. I've been humbled. Humble pie. As far as favorite Final Fantasy XI character goes, that would be my Mithra Red Mage. I believe her name, well, I know, but I'm saying it to be more quaint with y'all. But her name was Fisher with 2 R's. How quaint. Because she was a Mithra. And I think they rolled their R's sometimes in cutscenes. I mean, if you're going to be a cat lady, you might as well roll your R's and make a little purr noise when you're talking. I mean, gee whiz. What a waste to be a cute cat lady and not do that. Son Ben Botticelli had all the inside scoop on a net ambushed her. Speaking of ambush, don't worry, we get to lecture Annette Birkin just as much as Claire did, kinda, sorta. Alright, Mr. X. Still mad, still hadn't picked this hat up. Once it touched the ground, it was dead to him. Son, he almost got us with the old Widowmaker X. It's also the day his masked wrestler name. Oh, I just threw a regular hand grenade. I didn't even realize. I mean, it had the same effect. It just had more bang, less flash.
加減にして。これであなたを2度救ったわ。
まさか数えてたとはね。
これはゲームじゃないの。
俺マジか。
死なないやつばかりね。カードキーは
持ってる。これもね。その内容を説明してくれ。
それは私が聞いてから。ここを出ましょう。
Boys, I'm starting to think that Ada-chan might be a bit of a diva, son. She might think a lot of herself. With her secret grappling hook gun, and her TMP, and her exploding crossbolt. These are all things she has in separate ways. Every time I bring it up, I legitimately think to myself, why haven't I played separate ways for that crowd yet? Then it's like if you give a mouse a cookie. If I go to play separate ways, I'm just going to want to play all of Resident Evil 4, and I've already done that once for the channel. And I did it a couple of times, almost all the way through, under different circumstances, including a TMP only run, I believe the kids call it. The spiteful TMP, it's known as in some cultures. But anyway. Ada's going to lockpick the store while Leon tries to impress her. He's like, yeah, it's a Desert Eagle. I know it says Lightning Hawk on it, but that's just like, they're made at like the same factory. It's like the same thing. It's like Fruity Pirate Puffs and Lucky Charms. They're like the same thing. She's like, isn't Fruity Pirate Puffs like Crunch Berries? Leon's like, I only eat grape nuts. Oh, Robert Kendo in Japanese. This will be good.
動くなって言ってんだろうが。
ここを通り抜けたいだけだ。銃を下ろしてくれ。
うるさい。さっさと向こうを向いて今来た扉から出ていけ。
その子症状が出てる。
黙れ。娘のことはお前には関係ないだろう。
銃を捨てて。
よせ、やめろ。
そこをどいて。その子が変わる前に処理しないと。
処理だと。俺の娘なんだぞ。
エイダ、もういいだろ。
エマ、そこを出るなと言ったろ。
パパ。
ここにいる。パパだ。いいな。あの連中にやられたんだ。家族みんな。あんた警官だろう。なんでこんなことになったんだ。なんで俺たちがこんな目に遭う。なあ。俺たちの天使だったのに。
ママ。
ママは眠ってるんだ。いいね。そろそろお前も寝かさないとな。エマ。さっさと行けよ。娘と二人にしてくれ。
彼には真実を知る権利がある。違うか。何が起きてるのか教えてくれ。こんなこと止めないと。あんな人たちを救いたくて俺は警官になったんだ。
私の任務はアンブレラを止めることなの。命がけになる。
この町を救うためなら何だってやる。
Son, Robert Kendo. If I ever, speaking of side games or bonus games, mini games in Resident Evil that I never played for the channel, there's the Ghost Survivors. They're kind of stressful. I mean, they made them fairly difficult for someone of my gameplay level. But they do provide a unique challenge. See how Ada keeps up with us, son, as we're running through the tunnels. Plus we get this cool guy action bows. I've got these action bills. The pills make the phone calls stop. Commence the gangling. Figured a few Aqua Teen Hunger Force references would get you all through these sewer times. On the moon, we have no Aqua Teen Hunger Force references. Okay, we got to deal with the alligator. Luckily, it's just left, right, and left every time, so you don't get eat. Claire never encounters the giant alligator, but in her defense, she encounters a much more dangerous creature, Chief Brian Irons. So she's got a lot on her plate.
本当にこっちでいいのか？
残念だけど。
待ってろ。
Alright, just like Crash Bandicoot, look for the boxes, although in this case we want to avoid them, so Leon can get the gem. Alright. The handgun gets to shine here because it takes but one bullet. Boosh. And he's done. In fact, let's get this other fucking bullet out of my inventory. Oh no! That was Henry's ghost slapping me on the back for wasting even a single handgun bullet. Ada, can you put the ladder down so that I'm not standing in shit water? My leather jacket's still cool, by the way. It just needs some Febreze. Thank you. She must have sprinted down here. She was worried about Leon. I've still got that fucking bite. It's like the beginning of the game. I'm carrying that mark of shame through the whole game. It's like that bracer the combat butler puts on the thief in Octopath Traveler. Oberon? Is that the thief's name? I know it starts with an O. Because spoilers, the 8 main characters, their first letters of their names spell out Octopath. My God. Alright, we gotta impress Ada with her gunslinger skills. It's like Umbrella's gonna need a virus to stop this. If you just switch between the handguns, it's more like actual revolver ocelot, but you gotta throw the shotgun in there as a wild card. They never anticipate it. He just pulls it like out of his back. It's like he's got a scabbard behind him with that shotgun in it. Alright, it's almost time for Ada adventures, which are much less stressful than adventures in Sherry Birkin City.
何者だ？
アネット・バーキンよ。
彼女が例の。
時間がない。早く処分しないと。
G ウイルスを出しなさい。
それは無理ね。
これは警告よ。
あらそう。
おい！
待って！ があるなんて反則よ。レオ。
俺はいいから早く行け。彼女を止めるんだ。早く。
施設のすぐそばよ。アネットを追ってる。彼女が持ってないならネストにあるはず。手に入れたら解析に回すわ。逃げなさい、アネット。逃げられるものならね。
Son, even as a joke, it won't let you point the gun at Leon. He's just tuckered out, son. We'll leave him there. He's tuckered out from roundhouse kicking and suplexing Illuminati monks. It's secret weapon time. Time to be elite hacker, son. Yeah, that's right. Sherry's no elite hacker. She couldn't even solve a basic block puzzle. They're like, oh, you were like piloting her there. You were like the little red heart inside of Chris's body, piloted him towards Susie's house in my fan fictions. If Noelle Holiday is watching this, boy, she's real upset. She don't care for these jokes. I've been watching a lot of Delta Ring content recently, in case you can't tell. I played the second chapter when it came out. It's not bad. 1, 2, 3. Wow, that's the fastest I've ever blown one of his legs off. Oh, that wasn't his whole leg. If he was Cotton Heel, he would still have power. Man, I don't know what my difficulty adjustment's at, but I don't think I've ever had that guy not get his leg completely blown off. I mean, he's humbled, but still, he can follow us all the way down here if we're not careful and not quick enough. Speaking of quick, here's Fat Jobs. Alright. Farewell to the legs. There's a lady over here that's going to wake up and follow us. We'll let her do that. I'm going to use these 7 bullets to try to blow this guy's leg off before he stands up. Got him. Last bullet too. Luckily, they were kind enough to leave you a handful of bullets over here. It's like leaving money for your teenager when you're going out to order a pizza. But just enough that they can only get one topping. And the tip is up to them. Wow, that was lucky spacing. I don't have to waste any of my resources getting past that crowd. Fat Chubbs will have crawled his way towards us. So we need to stagger him like that. And that man made his way. I'm getting that leg. It belongs to me. The crazy 88. Yeah, you piece of shit. You think you're fucking tough, don't you? There's no reason to stay here and kill this man other than to hate my heart. It gave me a crit shot, too. Crits and grits. Hey, Annette. Hey, you think you're real fucking cool, don't you? I'll shoot you right in your asshole. Wow, you followed me all the way around here. I didn't even realize that they would do that. We're learning a lot in this playthrough. Very cinematic. Speaking of assholes that don't know when to give up, X-Coon has followed us down here. He's been demoted from Exxon. He's been demoted in an honorific rank. He'll never make his way up to Dono, or God forbid, X-Sama. Alright, grab these. For no reason, actually. There's no more enemies. The only thing you'd use those bullets on is to, like, fuck with Mr. X, who's right behind us. Oh no! Zoink Scoof! Okay, I weren't scared. You up there, Mr. X? Asshole. There actually is a use for these bullets, and I'll show you what it is here in just a sec. You'll be shocked and surprised. Okay. Things are much more proactive in Ada's little scenario. If you skip all the cutscenes, Ada's is a little bit longer than Sherry's, I think. Because Sherry just, if you can do the puzzles, you just get out of that room, run downstairs, make Brian Irons mad, run upstairs, wait for Taco Tuesday to hit, and then grab that key and get the hell out of there. So this was the use of those bullets, by the way. We can shoot them at a net. Chicka, chicka, wah, wah. We'll leave one bullet for ourselves, in case things go south. In case we ever find out Leon's got a new cool girlfriend. A new hot American girlfriend, just like Takun in FLCL. How scandalous. Don't tell that emo girl. Alright, we're almost there. And that's the way the hacker crumbles. Boosh, it's that easy. I like to pull the handgun out for confidence purposes. We got this wristband that we're going to carry to the end of the game only when Leon takes it. It's the one wristband, son. Ada's like Frodo, son, and she had to give it over to Leon like Sam. Are you appreciating these nerd references?
G を独り占めするために殺したとか。面白い考えね。あなたが協力しないならネストに向かうだけよ。やれるものならやってみなさい。肝心な時にいないのね。
エイダ。くそ。エイダ、どこだ?
Son, if only Ada had a first aid spray, she'd have been perfectly fine. It'd have been like the end of Last Action Hero where they get Jack Slater back into the movie when he'd been shot in like the chest, and the doctor's like, "Are you fucking kidding me, man? My God, waste of my fucking time." Where's that cartoon cat at? I think he's actually in that scene. I don't think about it. Okay, the sewers. Leon's path through the sewers does differ from Claire's in order and some enemy placement. So we have that to look forward to. Look, some shells for our shotgun. Oh boy. We get to feed our hungry shotgun. Oh, I didn't even comment on the fact that we skipped the long barrel for the shotgun. Yeah, we can't put any, like, inventory space absorbing upgrades on these guns, unfortunately. So, no triple shot Matilda. No long barrel Magnum. And unfortunately, no ultra sexy shotgun. Alright, we want this man to follow us down here to the water, because if you blow a zombie's leg off in the water, they insta-die. And the way the game signifies that is they pop up like a fucking trout. I wonder if he could actually grab you during that animation. That would be rather unsettling. Alright, it is harder to hit them in the leg when they're in the water, so be careful. You gotta shoot them in their fucking meaty thighs. Alright, he's not actually dead, which means he will get back up probably at some point. Oh no! He must have ran out of HP, because there's that fucking salmon flop. Alright. Okay. Hey, Fat Chubs. Just hanging around. Tell you what, you earned a Magnum bullet. He deserves it. He's been a good boy. Oosh, that Fat Chubs didn't, though. He was extra naughty. This fucking guy likes to cause you problems. So let's give him one of each. Not many people get that fucking rare luxury, boys. He's in Valhalla right now. Son, dying to tell everyone his story. The Valkyries are fucking sick of it. They're going to update their profiles on Tinder. That's secretly a joke I just made. You might not believe it. Unless you're one of them video gamers from the PlayStation era. You're like, I get it. I ain't laughing, but I get it. Alright, we can finally use this gunpowder B that we grabbed when we were leaving the RPD, because now it is Magnum bullets. Alright, we want to attract Fat Chubs and Skinny Lenny over here so that we can deal with them on our terms. So ideally we want to shoot over there where they're standing, and it'll make them walk over here. This is a new strategy that I've quote-unquote developed. Of course my plan won't work because I realized I should have saved shotgun shells to blow their legs off. But I can at least attempt to blow Fat Chubs' leg off with this handgun in the interim. Okay. I'm hitting him in both of his thighs like a fool. I want to let the little reticle go in because it does do more damage, but it gives him more time to move. Okay, is he dead? Okay, good. He's dead, and Skinny Lenny. There you go. You two will make quite the pair. Satan's going to feel like, oh, the day. I rue the day Leon Kenedy sent you down here. Damn you. Literally. Oosh. And that's how you get past that G-mutant. It works basically every time. If you do it exactly right. It's like Flex Seal. If you follow the instructions and do it right, shooting a G-mutant with a bullet and running past with his pop-up animation just works. And then when you use the spark shot to blow up one of their fucking eyeballs. Phil Swift is quick to point out the amount of damage that is. Spoilers, it's a lot. Zaku Flame Blast. More cutscenes. Oh boy. Okay. So we are going to return to the RPD. This is the only way to get... We're about to grab the T-valve handle. And actually, I'm full of shit. In the B scenario, you don't actually have to use it in the RPD. Because remember, the little secret room, the secret crest room, stay in the main hall. The RPD stays open. But we do want to go up there to get the 400 flame fuel and scope for our Magnum. There's a stock for the shotgun in there so that we could be like Robert Kendo. You'll notice he has the little shotgun with the stock. But honestly, I'm not bothering with it. Unless you shoot faster, but that's never really what we're after when we're shotgun spec, you know what I mean? Plus, I don't like the way it looks without the long barrel. It's ridiculous. It's like being all nuts and no shafts, son. I didn't even realize until I was thinking about it during that creaky door opening that I basically quoted, was his name Stinkmeaner? There's that Boondocks where straight-laced Tom gets possessed by the ghost of that hateful old blind man. And when he's like yelling vague insults at Robert Freeman in the background when they have him tied to the bed like the Exorcist, he yells, "You're all testicles and no shaft. What happened to your shaft, Robert?" And then he laughs maniacally. Good times. Alright, that mutant we skipped is out here. But if we just run away, like the hero, he can't get us. This one we can just kind of run past. And also ignore. Oh no, he flipped a can at us. Once again, I don't know if I've ever witnessed that before. All kinds of world firsts happening in this playthrough. That's the power of it being Friday evening. I started recording this on a fucking whim too. I still ain't made it to the end. Leon's final boss fight is not as fucking free, quote unquote, as Claire's is. We all know that. We've all seen my quote unquote Leon A hardcore no save no item box run. That went swimmingly, might I add. Well, one bonus to coming out here as Leon is all these zombies are already dead. So we don't have to worry or care about them. If we wanted to be super indulgent, we could grab this big gunpowder here, and when we go up to the RPD, we could run... No, ink ribbons. God, they burned me. We could run all the way up to the Clocktower and get that gunpowder large and make a bunch of 9mm bullets, but it's just not worth it. So we're just going to mix it with this little gunpowder right here. Min-maxers look away. Henrys and Margarets of the world. Margaret's like, don't let me in with Henry. I just tolerate his nonsense. I don't care what items you use. I just imagine Henry and Margaret, the beloved 10 Fate characters that I don't need to explain to y'all because you're all 10 Fate true believers. I just imagine them as the big heads from Rocco's Modern Life. Probably not as jovial, more slapstick with that Henry and Margaret. That's when they reboot Henry and Margaret for the new age, like Alvin and the Chipmunks or the Thundercats. I much prefer the design of reboot Thundercats, mainly Cheetara. Mainly her soft belly that needs to have your face rubbed against it. Okay, we need to think about our inventory right now. We're going to use that. Yeah, we're good. I don't think we've left any enemies here alive. There's the liquor up there in the Clocktower. Or not the Clocktower, the C4 room. You're like, all right, you heard the man. Sweet cheeks, get up that C4 room. He gave me a direct command. But, yeah. I believe that is the only one. If we went up there and took care of it, we'd finally be at peace. The last liquor has been knifed to death. The RPD is at peace. But then Leon sees the little baby liquor hatchling son and it imprints on him. And then Leon just, one tear rolls down his cheek and then he just blows that fucking thing away with the Magnum. Like Jamie Lee Curtis at the end of Halloween H2O. Although in this case it was her quote-unquote brother, Michael Myers, being like under an ambulance, and she cut his head off with an axe. But then in the sequel that they made, it turns out that Michael Myers had like captured an ambulance guy and put his mask on him, and then he like throws Jamie Lee Curtis out of a window, and then they put Michael Myers in a house that's on fire and with webcams, and some rapper whose name I couldn't remember like comes in and karate fights Michael Myers and beats him. That's a movie that happened. Halloween Resurrection, I think it's called. What a mess. My previous roommate, Gene, who everyone knows from Atari Madness and its award-winning sequel, Atari Madness 2, was a big fan of the Halloween movies, so I watched a lot of them with him. I haven't seen any of the modern ones. I haven't seen past the first Rob Zombie Halloween movie. That's my cutoff. You're like, my God. He didn't even make it to the Android sock equivalent. Remember when Trunks came back from the future and cut Michael Myers in half and everyone got super hyped? Ah, the good old days. Alright. We had just enough pointless, nostalgic banter to get us through this little RPD second excursion. Why is that laptop still there? Examinable. Usually it disappears by now. Alright. Can you hear the Xbox One's little controller's D-pad thing? I'm playing this on PC, but I'm using the Xbox One controller. And it's got like this recessed D-pad that if you just looked at it in pictures, you'd be like, man, that seems fucking shitty. But it's actually somewhat comfortable. Good for menus. I played through Pixel Remaster with it. And it worked pretty good. Son, I'll be expecting my fat check from Bill Gates any day now, boys. Okay. That was quote-unquote fun. Okay, we need the rook plug. So, what I'm going to do is throw this fucking thing away. Our auxiliary flashbang. Now, if we hadn't killed Baldhead Fred down here earlier, this is where we'd have to deal with him again. Although the game is going to spawn some additional zombies for us to have to deal with. When Claire comes back through here, there is another G mutant. But for Leon, it's 3 zombies. They kind of balance this out when you think about it, because when Claire comes through here, there's a G mutant. But when she goes up to that room where you put in the Suzaku Flame Blast locker combination, there are 3 additional zombies. But when she goes through that other area that Leon started in the sewers in, there's no G mutant. So it kind of, they each have their own G mutant and 3 zombies. And zombie trio. Yeah, can I get the zombie trio with a large G mutant? The Billy Birkin burger. You're like, there's going to be a 20-minute Ada wait on that burger. Please pull ahead. Alright, the plan here... We got to go put that rook plug in the socket, unfortunately. Because we need to grab the flamethrower and both the queen and king plugs from over here. And the flamethrower is a 2-spacer, son. Don't forget, we've got room for a bonus hand grenade. Because there's one over there where we killed Fat Chubbs and Skinny Lenny earlier. On the other side of the bars. There's enough herbs laying around to make a full heal as well. The Billy Birkin crane fight is easier as Leon, I believe. The flamethrower is more useful in that fight than the spark shot. Alright. And since I, of course, have this memorized for the B scenario. I have the A scenario memorized, but the B scenario I'm not quite as good at. We want the knight over there. Lovers called. They want their knight back. I was like, why? They're like, because it belongs to us? Okay. The Dead Factory music is what you would call this track that's playing right now. I'd say it qualifies as #ambient. If you use the new music for RE2 Remake, I mean, it's good music in some places, but most of the time you just get silence. Like when you're walking around the RPD. I do like Hunk's music in this game better, but only in this game. Standing alone as 2 pieces of music, I would say, just for nostalgia's sake, I like the original 4th Survivor music. Fearful was no word for it. is, I believe, the name of the track. I'm actually going to grab this green herb. They spawn a bonus zombie here in the B scenario, and it's this gentleman. When you're coming through later, he'll mess with you. He loves to do it. He's an asshole, tried and true. Alright, we're going to use these hand grenades and magnum bullets and have the best fucking time dealing with G-mutants. Now remember, we got the laser dot sight, so wherever we point that laser dot is where the fucking bullet's going, boys. And that's the way the G-mutant crumbles. Alright, for the second one, we're going to tenderize him lightly with a hand grenade. Just enough to remind him that we're Leon Scott fucking Kenedy and we've got a fucking hand grenade. Now, I don't know if the laser dot sight gets you the increased damage that you get when you let the sights narrow in. So I do like to let that happen when I have the time. Do you know the times? We get some of these magnum bullets back is why I'm not quite as worried about dispensing them. There's going to be an additional fat chubs during this little dash right here. But luckily their knees are quite weak. Layla knows how to deal with fat chubs, this voice. There's the salmon flop. Cool, cool, cool. I forgot I have this fucking bonus knife. That'll help me deal with the zombies in this region. It would be useful fighting Billy B in the crane yard, but you get a free knife during that fight. So, I still hear the G-Mutant through the walls, and he's still angry. I like to identify these because you use them for several puzzles. There's an additional Fat Chub zombie in this region as well. Laying right there. We'll use the knife. He actually doesn't animate until you grab the king plug. So you can preemptively cut his arms and legs off. If you deplete his HP, or, you know, blow his head off, which quote-unquote depletes his HP, he won't get up at all. But I assume if we knife him enough, his corpse will remain dead. This fucking asshole. Don't tell me you're going to take two. What a piece of shit. What a big league chew piece of shit. I should have knifed him while he was laying there. Well, I got my crit shot. I was angry. I was salty enough to get that crit. Salty crits, they call them. The name of my novelty fighting game. Streaming service. Instead of Salty Bet. Alright, Fat Chubs. How long are we going to do this dance? How long are we going to keep this game going? I'm like Brock Sampson, and you're like Molotov Cocktease, son. What are we doing with our lives, son? Cool. Well, we have to throw away an item. Once again, this first aid spray. No, the knife. Cool, cool, cool. One thing I do like about this outfit we're using is that the flamethrower and shit doesn't appear on Leon's back. So we get maximum aesthetic quality no matter what weapons we have equipped. It's a good thing. Although I did enjoy the way the grenade launcher looked on Battlesuit Claire. But that was extenuating. Not the spark shot though. The spark shot was gaudy. The whole aesthetic quality of Battlesuit Claire is compromised. And you've got the spark shot on her back. Alright, that G-Mutant is down here somewhere. Okay, he's right there. I'd prefer not to use any flame fuel on him. But, okay, he's coming for us. Is he? I thought he was doing that thing where they, like, slide towards you in the water. G-Mutant, are you here? Stop making me think of that Alone in the Dark, or Are You Afraid of the Dark episode with the scary pool monster that traumatized me for fucking life. Oh no, scary pool monster Chan. Luckily, even without the fuel regulator, you can take them out with flamethrower taps. Not quite as efficient as the spark shot, but still fucking satisfying when you break it down. And I mean, they give you flamer fuel in the lab to deal with the Ganglemen, although that thing's really useful against the final form of William Birkin that we're going to fight in the Leon scenario. The arena, the octagon Billy B battle. So I would like to save fuel for that day. Ideally, you can get past that last mutant without fighting him if he spawns in a good spot. And then you're spoiled for flamethrower fuel, because the sad thing is, if we're going to use that against Billy B during the crane fight, we're not going to have the fuel regulator on it, which means we're going to eat up our fuel reserves. Heart-wrenching. Alright, we've made our additional full heal. We're going to go slap these king and queen plugs like matching salt shakers in the slots up here. And we actually have... Yeah, we can make another full heal. Sorry. I notice, by the way, when I'm editing, all the insertion noise. I almost did it right then. I almost said all the, you know, filler noises that I make on the channel. That and my nose whistling are the two greatest flaws, I believe, of the Tenfei channel. You're like, wow, that's being awfully generous to yourself, Uncle Tenfei. I can name a few more if you like. I'm like, no. I'm plenty humbled, thank you, Mr. Zucker. It's like, oh, are we finally allowed to air our grievances? Richard Zucker pinned the door of the Tenfei offices, his like list of edicts, like Martin Luther back in the day. Now, this zombie will actually get up in the B scenario when you grab that blue herb, so we're going to grab it last. Because he'll despawn once we come through with Ada-chan. He'll recognize that she's legitimately hurt, and he'll break kayfabe just long enough for us to escort her out of the room. The curtain call, son. Get you some good front shot angles of Leon. There's not as many quote-unquote fan-servicey Leon outfit mods. It's like either he's in an outfit of another Resident Evil character or he's asshole naked and fully erect. There's like no middle ground. No like werewolf from Twilight Leon or anything like that. Oh, he didn't get up. He's done it before when I've done the B scenario. Maybe I didn't like walk over him enough. I have to put on these red shoes and walk all over him, son. Just like Tommy. You're like, what the hell does that to do with Tommy? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that you're a baka gaijin. I meant Tommy, we forgot the extra hand grenade down there, by the way. I recognized it. But I meant Tommy from Hyper Police, of course. That poor dog, man. Times are tough. That's an old-ass anime, by the way. You know how I watched Hyper Police? I waited for the DVDs with like 4 episodes each to come out like every 2 or 3 months. And I would go to OnQ and buy them. You crowd can't even imagine it with your torrents and your live wires and your peer-to-peer file sharing. Alright, we're going to try for Forest of Fallen Giants Firebomb Skip, as I like to call it. Let's see if we got it. Hell yeah. That's what I like to see, boys. Alright, excuse me, Billy B. I'm just going to skedaddle past you. Don't mind me none. I'm just a little scamp of a feller, son. I don't mean you no harm. He's right behind us. Oh, can't get me during the animations. It's like Dark Souls when you pull a lever. Alright, slap this shit. We want that knife in our inventory, unironically, so let's shoot him once. Start emptying this fucking thing in him, because we want to open up an inventory slot. Which means it doesn't matter if we burn up a lot of our ammo. Alright, 96. That's good. We'll get him. Normally I would be knifing him right now, and I will in the next phase. But I am trying to min-max ever so slightly my ammo. Surprised they didn't hit me. Okay, there we go. I was wondering when he was going to get me. Okay, good. Perfect. Use one of these. Grab this knife. Equip this knife. Come over here. Start cutting Billy. Our difficulty adjust should have gone down now that we've had the shit slapped out of us and used a bunch of ammo. So, that's a good thing. Once we down him... Oh, damn. Okay, I was going to say, once we down him one more time, I was going to say once we down him one more time, but, yeah, I ain't got room for that flashbang. I just realized in my inventory. I had too many heals. I'm not used to having so many fucking healing items during this fight. I'm literally hashtag spoiled. Look at you walking tall. Alright, let's lightly flame broil until we get him down on his knees one last time. Okay, good. Although he's not quite in front of the crane, but I think it's still going to count. Alright, good. That gives us room for this flashbang. Get him, boys! There you go. We'll see you next autumn, Billy. Look at that, just the right amount to get our magnum up right up where we want it. Son, I'm still just looking at my inventory in shock. Like, I don't know what's gone so correct for us to have so many fucking full heals. Alrighty. Tell you what, Ada. I'll let you hobble your ass strongly and independently over to the cable car. But in the meantime, I am going to run down there and grab that grenade, because the more grenades you can have during the final Mr. X fight, the better. Because you need them to knock him out of his insta-kill attack that he has. God, if I get killed, I'm going to be a nervous wreck. Every time I do one of these runs in practice, I'm always so nervous during that fight. I just flash back to how badly I disappointed you all that day at the end of the Leon A hardcore hunt costume playthrough. Which, if you haven't watched, go watch it. Nothing bad happens. Tell you what, since I spoiled that maybe something bad happens during the final boss fight, I'll also spoil the fact that I make up for it with an extended hunk segment at the end. So, there you go. Alright, we got everything. I've got like no room for lab items, but we'll make it work.
の先は片道切符よ。覚悟はいい？
こちらはネスト直通です。到着までしばらくお待ちください。
俺は許せない。アンブレラに乗り込んで一刻も早く処罰すべきだ。
そうね。でもあなたは正式に任命されてない。これは FBI の仕事。G ウイルスが手に入ったら私がやるわ。ねえ、私を信じる？
そっちは？
もちろん。でなきゃあなたは死んでる。
そうか。
あなたの助けがいるの。今こそね。G ウイルスお願い。こんな悲劇は二度と繰り返したくないの。
エイダ、弱気になるな。もちろん俺も手を貸す。
私を見て。まともに動けない。あなたが最後の希望なの。お願い。
君を置いてけない。もし襲われたらどうする？
平気よ。私なら大丈夫。見届けたいの。事件の結末を。それからあなたのこともね。
間もなくネストに到着します。
行って。お願い。時間がないの。持って行って。
分かった。
レオン、頼んだわよ。
あ、
So I was going to make a joke about how unpleasant it must be kissing when Leon has been wallowing in sewer water. But I realized, like, immediately my brain set to work making up dumb nonsense stories, as it does. And I was like, oh, that bottle of magic antiseptic he happened to have in that one cutscene where he was treating Ada's leg just a little bit ago. I like to think he, like, took a quick swig of that and swished it in his mouth for a few seconds right beforehand, son. It's basically Listerine. Rubbing alcohol is basically Listerine. It'll be the one quote Tenfei's actually remembered for. The quote-unquote Tenfei historians, as they call themselves. It's just a handful of guys in a shed, and they found this mysterious plaque in the desert that just says rubbing alcohol is basically Listerine, and then at the bottom, Tenfei. And they're like, what could it mean? That's the alternate history. That's the bad Tenfei timeline. That's the one where Troy went to get the pizza, son. Like, we're going to kill all this crowd that might be a threat to us. It's a good thing. Alright. Oh, that leaves us just a little smidge of flamethrower fuel. Taking up inventory space. Alright, I do want to go ahead and deal with this guy. That lady's, like, I like to think she's somehow connected to the Library Bunch's famous member, the ass-eating zombie, because she's basically, they recycled the animation. And she won't mess with you if you don't mess with her. Maybe when you turn the power back on, she will, but by that point, you know, we're already over here. Alright, there's a big gunpowder right there. Don't forget it. One of Hunk's boys is waiting for us out here. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do with this inventory, but I know what I'm doing. There's a knife on the counter. Hunk's boy running through my mind like a shotgun shell. Okay, there's some additional shotgun shells right here. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot. One of the main benefits of the B scenario is that you get early muff detector. So yeah, we're going to slap this thing to extend the bridge. And then right over here next to one of Hunk's boys, the muff detector. I wondered how Hunk and his boys were able to always zero in on that muff. What are we going to do? We're going to eat this. It's kind of a waste, but the sad thing is this is going to get us the final fanny pack. So we would have had the inventory space. But I traded my empty inventory space for these elaborate shotgun shells. No, but I traded my beloved shotgun for this antique muff detector. That's back in the old timey times when they spelled muff, M-U-F-F-E. Alright, it actually needs to be set to OS right here. Somebody scolded me on what these like lines and sine waves and coefficients and shit means. And it was real interesting, but I dare not repeat it. Just read the comments on recent Tenfei Resident Evil 2 videos. You'll see it. And you'll nod in silent agreement. Alright, some unnecessary inventory management. We need this knife to deal with liquors. Liquor knife. We're like a stereotypical bandit in a JRPG. Now, if we open that door, that lady's probably standing right there. She is sometimes. Not today. Are you still eating ass? Well, hell. Carry on, ass eater. Who am I to judge? Let he who has not tongue punched that fart box cast the first stone. Okay. Alright. As long as we play our cards right and do this Umbrella Laboratory segment by the book, we should have plenty of resources to get us through the final tyrant fight. I guess in that final form, I should refer to him by his actual name. Because Mr. X was like a name given to him in like a player's guide or something. It was never official. He was just the tyrant. If you remember in Resident Evil 1, the tyrant had like a big gangly lobster claw and his heart sticking out of his chest. So they kind of tuned it a little bit. They're like, "Don't, that's one of Wesker's tyrants. Don't look at him. It's so embarrassing." Hey, Gangle Man. It don't take a lot of flame fuel to take down Gangle Man, son. You just keep hitting them with the taps. And with the fuel regulator, every tap is just 2 fuel. 2 fuel, 2 furious. We can actually... That's a hand grenade, dumb shit. I can't stop doing it. Well, that'll certainly take care of him. All I was going to say is we could deplete his HP further while he's on fire and save even more flame fuel. Because I do want, as much as I can squirrel away, that's the adjective I'm looking for, before we actually go fight Billy B. And in fact, shooting them in their gangle balls depletes HP as well. So it's worth doing. If you come up against some sort of gangly abomination of a man, covered in virus-infected tendrils and ambling about towards you with a mouthful of teeth, I recommend the flamethrower. Ooh-wee! Light 'em up. Like my 8 alarm gun. 8 fucking alarms, my god. That's like paint stripper at that point. Okay, good. All burned up indeed. Give me this. I'm not leaving this cutscene in. Fuck it. Nobody cares about this little spraying water cutscene. Going through that last video and putting all those timestamps for skipping the cutscenes. It got a little tedious, if you can't tell. Everyone knows that's 2048. And the people that don't know that that's 2048 at least have the decency to know that that's 5831. And thank God for that. Okay, we've got Gangle Men to deal with. He's just hanging there. Gangly! Alright, you're going to fall down when I get near you. Give him a moment to recover. We're going to go down here. We're going to knock you down. What we want is for them to be lined up like ducks in a barrel right there. It's kind of like what we tried to do with Claire. That probably works better with ammunition. This is the part where you fall down. It's not normal. If you can get them all in one area like this, then each little poof hits all 3 of them. Talk about value, son. You love to see it. A symphony of burning ganglemen. I would make a reference to I love the smell of ganglemen burning in the morning. But even that's a bit too cliche for me. Jesus, even I've got fucking standards. Alright, on the B scenario, you just start on the blue button and just keep advancing one to the left. Alright. I find dead fucking silence helps when you're trying to entertain people by doing a pointless put the round peg in the round hole Resident Evil puzzle. I say that when literally one of the hardest puzzles in the game to me actually involves blocks and rotating them. Alright, just for you kids, because I know it will tickle your hearts. I'm going to grab these big handgun bullet powders, and I'm going to grab the one down here and make us just a mess of 9mm, because we are coming up against some zombies, so it is actually useful to have them. Oh no, I grabbed a shame map. It's like grabbing a shame item when you're doing a Dark Souls deprived run. Here's how this is going to play out. Because there's some shotgun shells here I want to grab, but once again, I'm too rich, too wealthy in healing items. So I stopped to make sure I didn't have a hand grenade equipped just this once. We're going to cut that lady's legs off. We're going to kill this lady classic style. Like when I do a randomizer, where I just use the infinite knife to cut their legs off, and then I always come run up the driveway giggling. I'd love to use the rest of these 5 handgun bullets on an actual target and not just throw them away. So we're going to try to not activate the man Bayou. Snack machines. Oh no, I miss the difficulty adjust. Of course, it was so obvious. I feel like we're back in the RPD at the beginning of the game, having to deal with this nonsense of constantly shooting a zombie in the head. Okay, look, we got chunks on the fucking table. That's how you know it's good. Table chunks. And one last one for my boy here, who died when he realized they no longer make Oh Boise potato chips. Alright, now we have to set this to the Will Smith alien greeting, aka Earth. They feel quite welcome. They don't realize he's saying it sarcastically. They're like the aliens in Galaxy Quest, son. They take everything at face value. God bless their hearts. Alright, as you know, 2 lickers are going to fall out the ceiling. But I've got hand grenades and shit. Only us got Kenedy, RPD. We got handguns and shit. Oh, I can't believe you piece of shit managed to get through my fucking stun knife. The one licker, the final licker. Did you see that? He did like a fucking teleport. I feel like it was so personal when he teleported behind me. Thanks, Robot Voice Chan. I feel so welcome. Once again, I'm going to leave that little robot hand cutscene in. But this time, maybe I'll play it at 2x speed. Because y'all are in the B scenario. You deserve it. It's like when you get the developer room ending in Chrono Trigger. They play like a super fast version of the credits. They're like, you don't care who made this fucking game. You've already destroyed it. You've already ruined it. For everybody. Good job. You're a monster. Alright, there is a gangleman on the stairs. And he has a good friend that falls down from the ceiling. Ceiling friend of justice, he calls himself. So what I want to do is get you in a humbled state. And then we can burn you and the zombie up at the same time. How often do we get to fucking burn a zombie up straight up with the fucking flamethrower? It's satisfying as shit, boy. Yeah, you're real fucking intimidating. Gangly piece of shit. If we play our cards right, we can get down to exactly 200 fuel because we're about to pick up 200. And we'll have a full magazine. Oh no, I accidentally tabbed one more. What a shame. Let's use some of these handgun bullets. Talk about holes being burned in your pocket. Lady. I was hoping for just one magic crit headshot. This lady's fairly tenacious if you don't get a crit headshot. She likes to keep coming. And she don't stop coming. Her brain gets smart, but her head gets dumb. Especially when I put bullets in it. I just wanted to make sure. There's no reason not to. Let's unlock this door just in case. Although we shouldn't need to pass through here again. Alright, here's the current plan. What do we want to grab out of that room down there? I think we need room for a green herb as well. Okay, we can go ahead and throw that away. That's going to become magnum bullets. We're going to pick up flamethrower fuel. I think we're good. Look at this little rinky-dink Matilda in my hand. Honky-tonk Matilda. That's the Hank Williams Jr.'s cover of the beloved Australian anthem, Waltzin' Matilda. Are any of you viewers outside of the South U.S. familiar with the term honky-tonk? And the blues that sometimes accompany such a thing? Alright. Everything's going just the way we wanted it. Light Nagami himself couldn't have planned it any better. Kai Keku's couldn't have been more according if they try. Alright, this knife will be useful for the Billy B fight, as long as we don't let a fucking Gangle Man take it away from us. And we shouldn't, because we're professionals. We're Leon the Professional. If we play our cards right, we shouldn't have to actually, like, 1v1 anymore, Gangle Man. We should be able to run away. Because there are going to be 2 additional ones in here once we Agent Orange the shit out of this place. I guess I'll leave this one in because it's more satisfying.
薬液を散布します。
I forgot you get the joy of watching that man fall over like a sack of potatoes. I would like this flashbang as well, so let's grab it. Flashbangs are also useful against Final Tyrant, because once again, they take him out of his insta-death phase. That Gangle Man's going to get up, but I don't want to waste flamethrower fuel on him, so I'm just going to shoot his Gangle Balls with this shotgun as we run past. We got to be in a rush as Leon, because our good friend comes to join us. In this timeline, Billy B didn't fucking obliterate his sides in the elevator. Well, we missed, but we can just run away, so it doesn't matter. I didn't have to actually shoot. I just wanted the Gangle Man to know that I could have. Alright, we're coming up against... Oh, I forgot this was here. Fuck, what do we want to do with it? Oh, I forgot to make the full heal from downstairs, too. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Always have been, always will be. But as always, what can you do? If I grab that one, we can make a few more Magnum bullets right at the end of the game. I'm doing it. Fuck it. I don't care about Mr. X. I ain't impressed by Mr. X. I don't even know what his range is, because I never really go back in here after he's woke up to Justice. Punch Fist Justice. That's his counter to shotguns. Oh no, he's mad. We came back for that gunpowder. He's angry that I'm wasting y'all, the viewers' time. But just think of the entertainment value you're getting out of it. Every stank just makes the video more dynamite gold. You're sitting there like Banyan from Seinfeld when Jerry was making his Ovaltine jokes for him. I'm like, oh God, I've got to run back for 10 minutes to pick up some shitty item I don't need. And you're like, that's gold, Tinfei. Gold! I notice we've got a new slash mark on our back. Ada will think it's cool. Do we still have the bite of shame? No, the slash mark overwrites the bite of shame. It's like getting the golden gauntlets in Ocarina of Time. Your silver gauntlet's gone. You can glitch like other color gauntlets too. Customize your Link the way you want. Thanks, Hunk Boy, for the bonus grenade. I realized I became Rolf. I'm like, thanks, Hunk Boys. When William Birkin appeared as a mutant in front of him, he just screamed, son of a shepherd. And ran away. Alls. Feel free to put the P or the M at the beginning yourself. Or a J if you're a fan of shark movies. Or James Bond villains. Alright, do we want to grab this red herb now? Or this blue herb? Then we can combine it with the red herb that's in there. There are 2 gunpowders in there. But we're going to mix one with that. Yeah, we're okay. We're not owned. I'm not owned. No inventory, no item box. Viewers. Twin Galaxy judges that are ranking whether this is a regulation, no item box, no save run or not. There's actually 200 flamer fuel in the Billy B arena too. It was nice of the Umbrella scientists to just put different types of ammo and like grenades down there just in case. They saw William Birkin and what he was getting up to and they knew they were going to have to boss fight him someday. Yeah, when you spec handgun Magnum, son, talk about spoiled. I'm going to miss at least half of these fucking Magnum shots, so just be ready for it. Okay, or should we preemptively have damage guard? Yes. Okay. Okay, we're going to try our best. There's a big gunpowder there, but I don't have anything to combine it with. I didn't properly min-max, and I apologize for that. I do genuinely appreciate that little cutscene where he just picks up the virus and is like, well, I guess that's it. I win. You could practically hear him thinking, nothing bad will happen. What could possibly go wrong from taking a level 4 restricted virus from Billy B's lab?
わけにはいかないの。
So very different tones between Leon and Claire's version of the pre-fight cutscene. In Claire, she's like so nobly like, no, Annette, even though you're a huge piece of shit, you have to get back to Sherry, your daughter. I will fight William Birkin voluntarily. But in Leon's, he's like, nah, you're going to jail, miss. You're in trouble. I'm telling. Brian Iron's going to hear about this. And then, like, Annette just flips the switch that dumps him down here into the room with Billy. Okay. We want to get a few knife hits on him while we can. But he's going to throw that fucking thing at us, and we don't want to be there when it hits the ground. We did it. We don't have a guaranteed stun against him like Claire does with the acid rounds, but the flamethrower is just so damn good it doesn't matter. Alright, we need to start dispensing Magnum justice because we're not going to use all these bullets against the tyrant at the end, even if we do play good. So there's no reason not to be emptying that shit in him when you can. We could probably hit to... When I said I was going to miss like half of the shots, I meant towards Billy B's eyeballs. Because, I mean, technically we're hitting his fleshy body. So we are doing damage to him, but we need to... Okay, good. This will let us get that eyeball just right. And then we can run up and knife the dog shit out of his chest. Oh no, the flames! They're ruining my min-maxing. The frame data! Alright, we should almost have him down to his final form. And that's a good thing. When Billy B is not on fire, Leon Kenedy should be asking, why isn't Billy B on fire? Oh Lord! Did you see that? I didn't know he had a little skedaddle move like that he could just pull out whenever the hell he wanted. Excuse me, I believe I shot you in your meaty eyeball thigh, sir. Are you entering final form, Billy? I believe he is. Burn him up while we can. Get over here while we can and knife him. As a matter of fact, let's... It's not here. There's a first aid spray in one of these little alcoves that we want right now. I believe it's over here. Yeah. Why risk it? I've gotten this far through the run, had this good a time. Shared this many laughs with y'all. Why spoil it right here at the end? He's gonna jump. I've seen enough Dragoon ladies in my day to know when someone's about to jump. Also enough cats that get down and like crouch and wiggle their ass and then they fucking spring 12 feet in the air. Cat Dragoons. Mithra Dragoons. I just realized that. You like realized a lot. No one ever knows what you're talking about, Uncle Dente. And we don't want to. Alright, we need a few bullets. Which there are some Magnum bullets laying around, but we do want enough to deal with the tyrant at the end, so we need to be more responsible with how we're fighting Billy right this second. Let's grab this flamethrower fuel that I bragged about earlier. Slap it in this fucking thing, and this should finish him off. Yeah, there we go. Neat. There's a ton of 45 ACP ammo, of course, but can't do nothing with it. Mama says B-Scenario-Leon is so ornery because he's got all that 45 ACP and no 1911 or Colt Single Action Army. There we go. A couple more Magnum bullets. Aren't there any shotgun shells down here? This should be more 45. Yeah, ACP. Son, I feel like I'm at La Casa del Patron ordering the ACPC, boys. Or if I'm feeling real bold, the ACPC Texano, boys. My favorite dish at La Casa del Patron is the Burrito Bandera, boys. Good shit.
信じられないけど、
G ウイルスを処分すると約束して。
あれは証拠だ。 FBI に渡す。
あの女を信じるの？
どういう意味だ？
彼女は FBI じゃない。産業スパイよ。 G ウイルスを売る気なの。あの女はただ金が欲しいだけ。
で任せ言うな。
おめでたい人ね。もし G ウイルスがアクトの手に渡ったらもう。
Son in a pile. She was slightly less hateful than she is when she's yelling at Leon in original RE2. When he's like, but Ada is my best friend and real nice. And she said if I get her the G virus that we can go to Dairy Queen. And she's like, you're so gullible. She's going to take you to Wendy's for a Frosty. And he's like, no, Ada's not like that. She'll get me an Oreo Blizzard. And Annette just laughs as she sinks in the L.
Ara, 私もよ。心配してたの。
俺たちはいいチームだ。聞きたいことがある。
これで出られる。ウイルスは手に入った？
もちろん。
確認させて。早く出ましょう。
アネットに会った。話を聞いたよ。君は FBI じゃないと。
ああ、レオン。おとなしく渡せばよかったのに。
俺だって君を信じた。ダメだった。
こんな結末になって残念。
俺は君にとって捨て駒だったんだ。
これが私の仕事なの。
俺もそうだ。銃を捨てろ。君を逮捕する。
G ウイルスを渡してレオン。殺したくないの。
さあ撃てよ。できるものならな。
生き延びて、レオン。
I just now noticed that Annette shoots Ada in like the opposite shoulder that Leon gets shot in, although you can't really notice in this playthrough since this costume kind of hides it. Which I noticed during the cutscene where Leon wakes up with Ada's trench coat draped over him earlier after Ada's adventure. He like put his hand up to his shoulder, and if this is the first time you'd ever seen Resident Evil 2 somehow, you'd be like, what is that supposed to be, symbolic or something, man? It's like she touched him with like her kindness, man. Is this the same character from the beginning that was chastising me? He's come around right here at the end. He's like, man, I didn't even change it over to the race. Son, I'm DVRing it. The moment Dale Jr.'s not in the lead, I'll just throw the whole fucking DVR in the yard. Screaming obscenities like an adult. Alright, grab as much of this shit as we can. Remember, we're going to have 2 slots open for the fight.
Ah, でもここはもう持たない。よく聞け。脱出するんだ。今すぐ。
脱出路はある。なんとかなるわ。あなたはどこ？
クレア、聞こえるか？
レオ？よく聞こえない。
俺に構うな。早く脱出しろ。あ、くそ。
Once again, if you think about it, that's the first time the two of them have actually directly interacted since we saw her at the chain link fence at the beginning of the game. Alright, we want inventory space to make the full heal that they basically give you right here. I was actually going to try to run all the way back over to the other side area because I realized I never actually made that full heal that you can. Even when because Mr. X chased me away, if you recall. But I don't believe those doors will open after the self-destruct has been activated. So how are the poor historians going to proceed to the bottom platform if all the doors have not been unlocked? I'm telling you, it's a OSHA fucking nightmare. Fuck you, Mr. X. Oh god, he is fucking right on us. He's mad. Alright, y'all, we're here. The moment I've been dreading the whole fucking playthrough. Okay, let's get this shit organized. Drop this. Unfortunately, we have to keep this. It won't let us get rid of this wristband, and we can't put it in the item box right now. Out of all of these things, I've either got to drop this hand grenade or this first aid spray. We probably won't live long enough to throw 4 hand grenades, and I'm more terrified of getting killed by taking damage as well. So yes, we are going to throw away. Okay, we got this, son. We got this by the ass, as AVGM would say. Say a silent prayer for me, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, my fucking heart's beating, boys, but we did it. Oh no, not a big fucking pack of zombies. Whatever I do, look at Fat Chubs fly. Boys, we are low on resources. It's a good thing everyone's taken care of. Billy B's gone. All we got to do is go home and laugh about it.
やったな。
私が言った通りね。
この子は
シェリーよ。
よろしく。
今のは
わからない。見てくる。その子を頼む。
Alright, boys, he's bad off. I'm trying to decide if I want to recover that battle damage on his chest, but I guess I'll leave it for continuity. Alright, we still, technically, I mean, nothing bad's going to happen, but, I mean, worse things have happened than be taken down with Billy. They actually give you a bunch of handgun bullets and a knife right here at the end, so one final hoorah against Billy B. We also have a rocket launcher, I suppose. Just this once. I wish they'd give you a damn first aid spray right here at the end. I'm just saying. Or does this make it more dramatic for y'all? Is this another one of them snanks that makes the video better? I don't believe you can actually damage him until the eyeball appears. But we're going to find out. But I intend to find out. They say William Birkin lives outside the Raccoon Lab and comes in as a G-virus abomination for boss fights. Nobody knows for sure, but I intend to find out. Kenedy boot. Alright, come on, Billy B. Show me that beautiful eyeball of yours. You've been so proud of it the whole game. Alright, first of all, there's that, and now we just shoot and pray. Reload. What could possibly go wrong, as they say, as the Bobcat kids say.
いや、そんなんじゃない。出会ったばかりだ。ゆうべね。
そうでも飛んだ初デートになった。
あ、ほんとぶっ飛んでた。
見て、乗せてもらえるかもよ。
もし広がってたら。
シェリーを頼む。
シェリー。
お届けしたのはザ・グレイプのリブ・アナザー・デイ。
いいやつだった。
じゃあ終わったの？
わからない。もしダメでも何とかしよう。俺たちで。
ええ、必ずね。
3人一緒なら大丈夫だ。行こ
ねえ、私を養子にして。
養子に？
子犬飼おうよ。
子犬？
オウムも。
オウム？
ペットが欲しかったけどママが嫌がって。
続いての曲はマンネリの水曜でも元気が湧いてくる。
Alrighty, y'all. Another RE2 run down. That went better than I expected. I made a lot of mistakes, but that final tyrant fight, I was on the edge of my seat. I was already getting the tantrum I was going to throw ready, but somehow we did it. Somehow Ada looked down on us with mercy. Can't believe I didn't get an S+ though. That's the true shame. Only Arthur Fonzarelli will appreciate the ranking we managed to get on this playthrough. Well, as always, I have to thank you all for putting up with my nonsense. Hopefully this doesn't take like 2 or 3 days to process and upload like the first part did. But in the meantime, my Super Metroid Tenfinity is going, so maybe that'll tide you over just a little bit.